Could it be that there's only one thing that we need to do? Only one simple step we can take. Actually, you don't even take a step. All you do is stand up, that we can do to change everything. I asked this question. I've been looking at this, and I'm going to tell you, hell yeah, I found one. I think there's a lot of them, but I found one. There it is. You stand up in great numbers. I'm going to tell you, maybe you haven't thought of this, but we have to know, and in our heart, we have to understand that we have to do it together. We are not an expression of individuals. We are, but when we're in agreement on something that we have said or asked in our hearts and found the answers, and then we found this agreement with these answers, where are we focusing our attention? What questions are we asking? So it's right there. That's the one thing. You ask those questions in your heart. You find the answers, and then you stand up in your personal power, your sovereign power, at least from the skin in. You have a conscious mind. What is that? So we have responsibility. So we stand up in our responsibility. And this crazy knock your horse off, aha, hits you. Basically, for me, it's off the horse. Is like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. You get off your horse, because all of a sudden everything you've been racing for, you're going to see differently now. You're not going to look out there for the answers to tell you what the right path is. You're going to look in here first, always. The first step, and the rest it's a dance. The rest is play. The rest is fun and joy. Those are all words that label some emotions, tries to label emotions, but they're all the same emotion. It's appreciation, love, compassion, unconditional love and acceptance. It's the easy step to flourishing and thriving that we will say to each other, because we're going to look each other in the eyes. We want to walk in this world in a good way. We want to respect and be respected. We want to have a flourishing, thriving society. That's what we want. That's what human beings are. Because we're organic. We're part of this big organic thing. Now, wait a minute. You got to understand that you're being programmed, I'm being programmed, not by some conspiracy thing necessarily, just by a culture that just wants to perpetuate itself. So, really kind of interesting way, the culture itself, the society itself, and the thought norms. I'm saying thoughts are the new currency. They've always been the currency. But we're going to make our thoughts the currency. Intentional, conscious thought. It's extremely powerful. And we can choose where we want to direct it. Where do we want to direct our intentional, conscious thought? That's a choice we get to make. Promise you. We can acquiesce, we can give that power of that choice away by acquiescing to a societal, cultural set of normal belief constructs that are, I think, they're kind of goofy. It's this bizarro world. You know, it's like synthetic. It's stupid. I mean, we do stupid things. You know, water falls from the sky, and we pay more for water than we do gasoline. We have been so freaking duped. It's our only fault because we haven't stood in enough numbers. And I promise you that it's over in a day. When instead of focusing as directed on what we disagree about, we focus on, hey, let's ask some questions. Is there anything that we can all agree on? Is there anything? 100% of us. Or can we get to something that's pretty significant and get to the 90s? You have to understand, if we did that, we'd be blowing away voter participation in any election. And all of a sudden, the vote process changes. Physical people with beating hearts. If the Supreme Court, that corporations are given the same constitutional rights as American citizens, as people with beating hearts. Corporation has the same, it's an entity that isn't human. It is self-perpetuating. And let me tell you something, far too many of them. And it's easy to find them because they're the biggest ones and the ones that get bigger and bigger, which is the process that's going on. Have a business model, and it's very easy to decipher and discern and put a floodlight on that business model or the industry itself. It could be multiple industries together with one business model that has something in common that makes it synthetic. It's the deeming of the human and planetary resources as disposable, expendable, acquired at no cost. Make sure you got to deliver the profit to the profiteers. You got to deliver to the profiteers, and look that up in the dictionary. I'll create a link below. I have a feeling about profit. I think it's light and dark. I think profit's a beautiful thing in a contributive economy, in a connection economy. Thank you, Seth Godin. A connection economy. It's the same thing. It's a contributive economy. The people who are asking the questions, how can I help? It's really real near the top, if not the top of the list. It's a quantum leap. It's a quantum leap from where we are now. We can't imagine it. In our acquiescence to the current false narrative, corporate state, media, we get lost in the buzz. We miss the whole real thing that's going on. I want to see people fall off their horse. We're going to see that a lot of people do that, and we're standing and we're looking at each other. And we're standing up and we're looking at each other, and then when we really think about what's most important, we shocked that we have amazing agreement. That's 180 degrees right there. Amazing agreement. How do you like that? And that's where we focus our attention. It's Pareto principle. It's the 80-20 rule. It's already happening. And these are glorious times. These are glorious times because we get to stand up. And it's the easiest thing in the world. We need to stand up and then feel compassion. We got to let the anger pass, and then we get into celebration, ceremony, and prayer, and standing in large numbers. We have the numbers to turn everything around tomorrow if we stand up in larger numbers. Whole regimes, run this country's government over a very small percentage of the turnout in the quote-unquote vote. We get to stand up whenever we think we need to. We don't have to wait 4 years. If we can get 80, 90, 70s, that's like phenomenal. I think we can come to those levels of agreement if we ask the right questions. I'm going to leave it there for now. Until next time, take care.